So welcome, everyone. There are a few that weren't able to be here today. As you notice, some of them aren't here, but nevertheless, they're here in spirit. We are holding them because we love all of you guys in the class. I know you love each other. I love you guys. We're here. It says it's class number 24. And I understand that maybe the website isn't as effective and efficient with everything that I thought it was. So if any of you out have found you can't find some things you're looking for, I'm going to go back and revisit that today. So just heads up on that one. It's always good to have feedback because sometimes I think it works and it doesn't. And I need to know. So thank you for being here. So let's just take a moment, close our eyes. Get a sense of your presence here, your physical body. You're cocooned within the guardian circle. You are also held within an energy field of hazmat to help absorb and soften the chaos that's erupting all around us, moving us to good, but with waves of chaos that you may also be feeling. We meet here on the sacred ground of sovereignty. We call in our teams of healing, of transformation, of protection, PTOs of clearing and holding us out of any of those arrows of parasitic agendas. We declare that anything in our space, in our individual space, our home, land, family space, within the circle space that is not of our light, we call in the PTO and the SIR teams to identify, knowing that they are simply requesting and asking our help to be taken back to their beginning of source. Ask that that be done as we need. Get a sense of the teams that are here. Those that have been walking with you. Those who guide and love you. And we ask them to extend that network of love and protection and guidance around all that we care about here on the planet and beyond. We are here to understand our greater purpose in the greater purpose, to strengthen our connections of guidance and inspiration. And we give thanks for all of the intelligences, the collective individuals and teams that have that same purpose for us. We thank them for their support. Thank Mother Earth, all that she provides, Father, Son, and the new codes coming from that field. Presence, wisdom, and strength of Sophia, and the expansive network of love, of grace. Our circle is set, activated, opened, and so it is. Okay. So here we are, ready to place ourselves in the circle, of course. Name, place, where you're at, equality. We'll go around and next time, second go around to just presence yourself with what it is you're experiencing that you'd like to just speak into the circle. The first time, let's just put ourselves in the circle The field is here open and waiting for us. So Sharon Raji Maynard here, Woodby Island, Washington. It's a beautiful day, overcast, misty, and about the right temperature. So glad I'm here with you guys. Cinda, turn it over to you.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Cinda, just south of Portland, Oregon. It's hot, 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 hot. And my husband and I are headed to the beach this weekend to find some cool air so we can be like where you are, Sharon, misty and cool. So glad to be here. And I'll call on Tara.
Thank you. I am out in Illinois, Schaumburg to be exact. It's been raining a lot. It's kind of muggy, but I'm not going to the beach this weekend, unfortunately. And I would like to call on Arlie.
Thank you, Tara. I'm Arlie. I'm in New Zealand. It is a beautiful early spring morning. It's a little bit damp, a little bit dewy, a little bit cool. The jonquils are up, the daffodils are up. Yeah, it's a great day, and I'd like to call on Emma.
Hello, everybody. It's Emma from Williamstown, Massachusetts. Remembering when I was a child and watched the weather reports on the news, you had the 3 big H's on the weather mat: hazy, hot, and humid. So we've been in the 90s with dew points up in the 70s, and I'm just learning to go with the flow. Right now it's pouring out, and I hope that that helps. I'm so happy to be with everyone today. I will call on Deborah.
Hi, I'm in Sanford, North Carolina. It's nice to be back in North Carolina. And it's less humid today. It's been really humid, so it's nice to have it a little lower, even though it's in the 90s, but it's lower humidity. And just happy to see everybody again. And I'll call on Lavender Joy.
Thank you, Deborah. I am Lavender Joy, and I'm in Magnolia, New Jersey. And it is also hazy, hot, and humid here. And I'm very glad to be with you all today. And
Whoops, you cut out before we heard the name, or before I heard the name anyway.
I call on Christina.
Thank you, Gail. I was just looking up Fahrenheit and Celsius, but I haven't got it. So here it's 30 degrees, probably around 80 to 90, I would guess. Yes? Okay. And Christina, Switzerland, it's the first day that it's hot like that again. Yesterday it was 10 degrees less. Yeah, I'm tired. It's a lot going on for me, but later more to that. And Sharon Alexander, I pass on to you.
Thank you, Christina. Hello, everyone from Colorado, where we have the smoky skies and hot temperatures, hot, dry temperatures. My skin, I teach class Tuesday and Thursday mornings, yoga, creative movement, and I noticed and commented on all the things we could eat and do for dry skin at this time of year, which is very common. So a cold front, cooler air is supposed to move through, and just fascinating to hear from each of you all over the world and all over the country to see these patterns and how they flow through, right? So fascinating to me and fun to hear. And I call on Alexandra. Thank you.
calling in from 3 places on the planet. I do have a sense of humor today. Yesterday was the hottest day of the year and hot as hell, but most importantly, yesterday, my king Khaki, who was 15 and a half years old, chose to leave the planet. And I knew it was coming, but it never makes it easy. So I feel tremendous loss today, and I'm just going to allow myself to grieve. And I've been just trying to get involved in other projects, and but at the same time realizing how important it is to grieve and to honor his presence in my life. So I'm trying to look to see if there's anybody who hasn't been. Is there anybody who hasn't been?
I think we haven't heard from Tara.
Okay, Tara, you're up.
Arlie.
Yeah, Arlie and I had a turn.
Okay.
I think everybody went, right? I think everyone.
Okay, I've been writing names faster, not as fast as I ought to. Thank you, Alexandra. Okay, so here we are, class 24. We've done a lot of learning, a lot of applying, a lot of learning. This week, really this month, I think I know for me, so I'll only have to speak for myself, it's been really rocky and rolly. And with clients who've come to me, a lot of rocking and rolling going on, probably for the last 3 months, but nevertheless, we'll say the last month. And I'm sure the last week has been a little bit ups and downs too. Last week, we kind of started, we did a condensed version of from beginning to where we are, but what the galactic journey has been. So let's just go around with the opportunity to, and we'll do it popcorn style. So just think for a moment of what is it that's up for you that you might want to just speak into the circle. Again, understanding that the intelligent field that we each bring and then weaves together with the intelligence and field of whoever's here. And then our spiritual team, I mean, the amount of intelligence, creativity, love that exists in this container is huge, beyond what we can understand. If we could see the energy, measure it somehow, which we could figure that out, but what we see, I think, would amaze us. And so as we go around and just have the opportunity to speak into the circle, where you're at, what your experience, questions you have, anything like that, realize that being heard is, and in a space like this, is sometimes all that's needed. So let's just open the field and popcorn style, if there's something that as you sit, there's something that is there to be spoken, just open up your mic. Let's have time for that.
I'll go. So I've been working with a small group on my 7 days of grace. And this morning we were on day 5, which is titled Beyond Forgiveness. And Sharon, you were talking about the love that we all have and that we all have that's bigger and more expansive than we could ever possibly understand. And the ritual that I bring into day 5 about beyond forgiveness is how we are these channels for divine love, and how we can share that divine love with those who have even harmed us the worst, and how to be that love in the world, and in doing so can also heal and help alter them. And it was so profound and so moving today to guide people through that that ritual that saved my ass when I was younger. So I agree. The potentiality of the amount of power that we have as people is more than we could ever possibly understand. So I just wanted to validate your comment, Sharon, and know that today I've been living it. So thank you.
So I would like to just request some protection from everyone for my family. I decided to fly out, Sharon knows this, but to kind of surprise my mom. And so my son wanted to come, Jackson, to see my mom and my nephew and try to get my mom on track with her health stuff because she just blows it off all the time. And literally the next morning, after being around my nephew, my mother, and my mother-in-law, my son came down with COVID symptoms. So we are in a hotel. We were supposed to go home on Monday, but now we're here for 10 days, quarantining. And her birthday's on Monday and we're going to leave Tuesday. But, you know, Sharon and I did some work, but I'd just like all of you to try to send good vibes to keep them healthy. They were vaccinated, but still that's not a guarantee, but that's something that weighs heavy on me right now. And then two things. Sharon, I know you don't know the answer to this, but just after listening to the last class that I missed last week, I'm wondering if what will happen when all this energy is cleared, because it's happening a lot faster than we expected. Maybe, you know, are we all just going to go back to source? Maybe that's the ascension that's written in the Bible. And then the other thing is, can we request a big party on earth to actually experience being here in a body, having physical fun without any restrictions and negative experiences? Anyways, I thought that was kind of a funny request, but sounds fun anyway.
Yep. This is Deb. First, Tara, where are you now? Wherever your mother is?
She's in Mount Prospect, Illinois. So
Okay.
I'm like in a suburb close by.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm.
Just directing energy closer.
Thank you.
So first, a request of Christina, just for her, Christina, if you would just put your website into, oh, there you did it already. Thank you. You're ahead of me. And it was really easy. And I'm going to have to pass a minute because I'm being summoned. I'll be right back.
I'd like to bring in my daughter's IVF, and in 3 days, she goes for a blood test to see if this one was a take. So that's my first thing. And my second thing is, I'm really feeling eager. I feel like I have a path. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I met with Sharon yesterday and I had been down and lost and feeling really like nothing's happening and I'm at dead ends. And today it's morning. I am a morning person here in New Zealand, but I'm just like, yes, 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 yes. And I would like to bring that energy to the circle.
Sorry, I'm back. I'd like to request in the circle help with my sister-in-law who has to move at the end of this month and has not been proactive. And I'm getting caught up in the chaos that's created. And Cinda, I'm trying to do it lovingly and with forgiveness, but sometimes I'm not all the way there. And trying to work out things to manifest for her. So that's what I'm requesting help with. Place to live, good movers at an inexpensive rate because the moving rates have gone up at least over 40% over the last year. Apartments are outrageous, and so just help. Thank you.
I think I've shared with this group that my no longer brother-in-law is dying of leukemia, and that's been challenging for the family. And he was in the hospital, and they moved him to hospice. And what they did. What they did was, for the first time that any of these doctors, and it was the doctors themselves, who actually moved him 2 blocks through the streets of New York City to the hospice, so that he could have fresh air, you know, what passes for fresh air in New York, and sunshine, you know, as he makes his transition. And so I thought that was just an amazing thing, that they kind of broke the rules. And these doctors, they didn't ask the nurses or the aides or anyone. The doctors wheeled him through the streets of New York City to his hospice. And I thought that was really quite beautiful. So I wanted to share that with you as a part of, you know, that's a part of the healing as well, I think. So thank you.
I'll speak, Sharon here. And I realized this morning after reading something that a friend had written about a trip to the mountains she had taken, that that inside I am feeling grief related to the climate grief. She actually gave that label to maybe what many people feel. And I think that's mirroring for me right now a bit of what's going on for my mother. And but it's all sort of below the surface for me, because I'm typically cheery and strong and positive and a leader. My mother was in the hospital a couple nights toward the end of my time in Portland, which was fabulous, fantastic. And next time Cinda will meet. And she agreed to be put on hospice as a prerequisite for coming home. I don't think I'm not in denial to say that she may most likely outgrow this. The hospice coordinator calls it fail to fail. And she has genes in her family. An aunt lived to be 107, a cousin lived to be 103. She's 91 and a half. But the quality of life, and it's more her mental and emotional state that I don't know can turn around. And so, yeah, I guess it's sad for me to see that. I don't feel sad. Well, I mean, I think it's all under the surface. And I think, so this might sound strange, but maybe you've been through it, or maybe people do this, I don't know. But I'm asking for her spirit, her soul to be released effortlessly and with ease from her physical body. And, have asked the 11th hour protocol. Not that I know much about that, but anyway, so if you all have a moment to think about Brownie, her time will come, and I don't know when it is, and it's okay. And I'm okay with however long this takes or whatever the path is, but to just see her suffer. And so she falls a lot, and she broke her back in April, and what took her there? Oh, her blood pressure plummeted this time based on some new medication for her eyes. Anyway, it's just a little worrisome. And then that and what's going on with the smoke in the air. And, you know, I drove to the West Coast and I made my way through and it was lovely. I had a fabulous experience. But there's just this underlying grief, both related to the climate and to my mother's quality of life, that weigh on me. And that, so they're like compressing my joy. And I would love to explode into joy. And it's just maybe not the time to be doing that. So that's what I'm sharing. Thank you for letting me speak.
Hello.
We hear you, Alexandra.
Okay. I never know when I unmute if there's anybody there. I guess the comment I want to make, and I mentioned, I think I probably mentioned this with my tag course on Monday in terms of my numerology, and I understood that this year was going to be a lot about responsibility and health and stuff. But in my life, what really gets to me is I've had all these health problems, and I've always come back. I had one miracle after another. Well, this time it's lasted about 2 years, and then I had emergency surgery at a hospital in July and literally had my gums cut open and the pus drawn out and a tube put in, which obviously took a lot of inflammation out of my body. So I was so relieved, and after the soreness, 4 or 5 days, I was like a different person. And my husband says, well, I used to do stand-up comedy, but my husband says, you are just a natural comedian. And he said it was so glad to have me back because I was always cutting up. I was making comments. I was laughing. And then, of course, then King Khaki gets sick. And it takes literally around-the-clock care. My life is voted, has pretty much been focused on him for 2 months now. And despite all that, I was laughing and cutting up. I'm feeling a real negativity about, I took him to a different vet who said 2 months ago and said, oh, why are you bringing this cat here? He looks so healthy. He's not dehydrated or anything. And I said, well, he's not himself because he's peeing where he shouldn't be peeing, and he's never done that before. He's drinking tons of water, and he eats nonstop. And so he's, a 15-and-a-half-year-old cat. So the woman said, well, we're going to give him a vaccine for rabies. And I said to her, please do not do that. He is an old cat. He doesn't wander anymore. He stays mostly in the house or on our grounds really close in, so he's not really exposed to other cats and animals. Well, damned if she didn't give him the vaccine anyway. And I brought him home, and he became very, very sick. And I am totally 100% sure that it was the rabies vaccine that did this to him. And I don't know what it is in me when I say to a doctor, do not give him that vaccine. He is too old. And then they do it anyway. And so I've had to deal with seeing him sick for 2 months. So sure enough, he did get sick after going to the vet. So I wonder, what is it in me that I choose people, and I was, just happened to be recommended to this vet that particular day, and it was right in my neighborhood. How I get myself caught in these situations, everything in me said, do not give him that vaccine. And yet, not only did they give him the vaccine, they added this big charge to my bill. So now I'm stuck with my own guilt about that I was part of the process and Khaki dying, because I wish I hadn't taken him to the vet, And so that part of my pain yesterday when I literally saw him, the life slipping out of him, is that I felt guilty. I felt like this was partly my fault. Why did I let this happen to him? So that's part of what's going on with me, and seeing him suffer and trying to understand why I had to see that suffering. And it certainly doesn't feel like a gift right now. So that's what I'm trying to make peace. I had already decided I could let him go, and I had an appointment with my vet yesterday at 5 to go ahead and just have him put to sleep unless she could perform a miracle, and he never made it. You know, he left yesterday morning before I could get him to the vet. So I don't have birth children. So he was born in my house 15 and a half years ago. So I've had 200 animals, pets, but he's just been my most important pet. So I guess I'm just trying to gain clarity on why did I have to be part of his suffering.
Thank you.
Was there anything I could have done to have stopped it? I guess I'm complete.
Yeah, questions we often run into. I'm just going to keep the floor open until everyone's complete. If there's anyone else who, and we're just going to hold the space for all of it, just holding space.
I would just like to share one, I'm grateful to be here. I wasn't going to be here. I'm dealing with some exhaustion and some life transitions, and it can be quite difficult. And I tend to pull back from people when I'm going through a difficult time. So I'm out of my comfort zone just showing up and speaking. So I would like to bring focus and energy into the circle, which I can desperately use. That's all. Thank you. I'm complete.
So I guess it's me. Oh, I have been so involved with the Mothership Alliance event, online event, She Boot Camp, which Sharon is part of. And it's been, well, when did we start? On Sunday? So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, today's day 5. And so that you understand, this event is hosted by the Mothership Alliance, and I agreed to have the role as the navigatress. I'm tired, so the English doesn't come so easily. Navigatress, so I navigate a little bit the events, the channels, the chat channels, the Telegram channels, and tend to people's needs and comment. I post and share and like, and so it's been it is intense, but I'm enjoying it. It's fun, and I am learning so much. I am learning so much on so many different levels, and the technology on one side, but then also with the people and the synchronicities we have. I don't have words for the synchronicities that we encounter within what we are doing. It's truly magic. It's there's no other word to say. It was just, it's just an important time for me. I'm hopeful, and I just I know that we all can do so much more than we think we can. And to be able to get that out of people, to empower each other, and especially the feminine side is just, we got to come together and do it, and just holding space. That's what we are doing. That's exactly what we need to do, to be here for each other. And so that's my life at the moment. And it's gonna go on like that. Yeah. I'm complete. No, I'm not. Sharon, Alexander, you mentioned, so you all know that I am a medium, so that means I have 10 years of professional experience and 20 years as a student. And what can help is when we have a loved one that is on the verge to leave the plane and is struggling and is suffering, that we talk to their spirit, not, and just say, it's okay, you can go, it's all right, it's all right. And do it in a mental and on a heart level space. So actually giving the spirit, the higher self, the possibility to go at its own pace, knowing that it can go. It's like a little bit like untying bondage, not so. I don't know if that helps, but that wanted to come through. Okay, and you are not forgotten. You will hear from me, Okay. Thank you for listening. And I'm so happy to be here with you all.
A great part of the a big part of the value is that we're together. And we can say what we need to say, that will be heard. And what is touching all of you deeply, in whatever way is touching you, we are there feeling it with you and holding you beyond it, even if there's no words spoken. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. One thing you may want to do, because if we have time, we're going to have a little creative exercise. And because I only came up with that possibility today, I didn't give you an assignment last week or even a few days ago. So during the next 5 minutes, as you stretch or potty break or whatever you do, if you have colored pencils, watercolors, markers, cut and paste, writing, if you do poetry or writing, whatever creative articles that you may have that you can gather up, bring them into the circle when you come back, because given time, we're going to use them. Okay, I'll see you then at 47 after the hour, and we'll be back then. Bye, loves. Welcome back. I'm just a few seconds late. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording. So there's a break and then I'm going to start the recording right away. So here we go.